Yo, what is going up, guys? My name is Nico and I welcome you yet to another video. In today's video we are actually going to talk about the strongest and best commanders in KvK1 that you should absolutely use. Now before the video actually starts, feel free to subscribe to the channel. It will help me out a lot, and if you do that, please leave a like. I mean, obviously it's helping me. However, let's jump straight into the video. Now before the video actually starts, and before I start to talk about good commanders and great commanders and amazing commanders in KvK1, let me be clear. If I was you, I would always use one march in KvK1. Focus on one march and one march only. Maybe, and just maybe, if you are a mid-spender and more, you can use two marches. However, I would always use one march. That's first things first. And second thing that I would actually talk about and want to talk about, we're going to actually talk about specific commanders that are really amazing, and then I'm going to talk about some commander pairings that you can use. But those will be only legendary commanders. So yes, Sun Tzu is arguably the best purple commander in KvK1. You can also make an argument for Belisarius or for Baibars, maybe even small arguments for Shogun of War Prime. However, Sun Tzu is the best KvK1 purple commander, and right after that I would say Baibars maybe, but I would exclude him in this video because there are some commanders and some commander pairings that are just better suited for KvK1. That's first things first. Second thing, those KvK1 commanders you should only use in KvK1, maybe in KvK2. Don't go past KvK2. Use them even in KvK2, but don't go past KvK2 because some of these commanders have playability even after KvK2. And I'm gonna talk about those commanders that actually have the playability after KvK2, but don't use them. Trust me. You will be in a very big disadvantage. So KvK1 yes, KvK2 maybe, KvK3 never. So let's jump straight into it. So we are actually going to talk about the strongest commander in KvK1, and that is obviously YSG. I mean, this shouldn't be even a contest. Nobody should be surprised. I have certain things that I don't like about him. For example, that he's squishy and slow. However, 5 target, insane AoE for KvK1 and 2, a lot of damage, archer attack by 100%. I mean, that's just good. Rage gain, of course. Yeah, the third skill is basically garbage for him. And skill damage bonus, circle AoE. Do I have to say anything else? YSG is amazing. He's the best commander in KvK1 that will stay for a longer period of time. However, now we are actually going to talk how you should pair him. There are certain ways how you can actually pair. If you want to have, in my opinion, the best commander pairing that is going to be fast, won't have many tanky stats, but it's going to be super fast. It's gonna hit like a truck, and you will hit and run away. I would rank him with Minamoto. Minamoto primary, YSG secondary. And you have an amazing commander pairing. It's super fast. It's really hitting very hard. However, there are certain commander pairings that you can actually give and use with your YSG. For example, what I've seen in certain KvK1s, it's Charles Martel. Now that we have the commander swap events and you can swap basically after KvK2, Charles Martel is actually going to be very good and important in KvK1 and 2 because he's very tanky, has decent amount of stats, actually health and defense for infantry is amazing, and counterattack damage bonus also really beautiful. And here are some bonus stats, and he's giving and providing you 20% march speed, which is important for YSG because YSG is very slow. And with this, you will get tanky and pretty fast, not super fast, but fast. And this is really beautiful and nice. So Charles Martel with YSG is one hell of an option. It's not gonna hit as hard as Minamoto and YSG, but it's gonna be much tankier. It's gonna be slower, but it's gonna hit a little bit, and that is very important. Another march that a lot of people actually know about is Richard I. And yeah, I'm not quite thrilled with Richard. Richard is amazing. He's done amazing things for me. As you can see, I also have some kills on him. Not much and not many, but I do have some. The first skill is making him tanky. Plus, he has some nice debuff and healing factor. Obviously, here you have some counterattack damage bonus, and of course damage reductions. Some stats in here, over here, and small healing bonus. However, his expertise is actually good. Commander takes less damage and less damage from calves, and of course a beautiful debuff where he debuffs 50% for 5 seconds to a single target, which is beautiful. It's really amazing. So is Richard I paired with YSG better than Martel paired with YSG? I don't think so. Richard first was very, very important in KVK1 because you could do a barb chaining, and for barb chaining he is better than Martel because of his healing. But if we are talking about pure fighting, I would say Martel might be just the better option for overall for KVK1. And if we talk about if you want to have a tanky infantry damage dealer, you can actually use Pyrrhus. Pyrrhus is very decent in KVK1 because he has the damage. He has normal damage bonus. I mean, obviously, direct damage factor isn't bad. He has stats. He has health. He has infantry march speed and normal damage bonus again. He has a shield and attack, obviously, and skill damage bonus and damage bonus if he's shielded. And because he will shield basically every basic attack, there are 10% chance if he does a basic attack that he will shield. This means he will get bonus damage, which basically means your YSG will deal much more damage. Do I think he is better than Martel or Richard? I would say he's on the field, of course, but for the other stuff, I don't think so. So hard to say whether it's Pyrrhus or a Martel or a Richard. And the last commander pairing that I wanted to talk about, if you want to go pure archers, use Thutmose. Thutmose, how a lot of people actually call him, is amazing. He has a free enemy target 1000 damage factor, healing reduction against Richard. This is gonna be really nice. Archer attack by 20, march speed, which is important, and 15% bonus damage. That's good. That's really good. Some defense, so he's tanky, pretty tanky, and skill damage taken increase, which will be important for your YSG. And of course, counterattack damage reduction, direct damage, which by 700 that is not bad. And if I'm correct, yeah, a little bit tanky stats here and some bonus damage overall. YSG with Thutmose could be, or Thutmose with YSG could be really impressive and interesting actually. And it's, if you want to have good damage and a pretty decently tanky, steady archer commander pairing, then you can actually use this. Thutmose is good. He is really amazing. He's an amazing gold key commander, and I really like Thutmose. And with YSG, it's going to hit like a truck. Now, another commander pairings that are actually very important to talk about is going to be Minamoto paired with Ethelflaed, or Minamoto paired with our good old boy Mehmed II. Now, why do I think Minamoto paired with Ethelflaed is amazing? Well, first things first, Minamoto has very, very high single target damage factor. He has beautiful stats, march speed here. Yeah, the damage against barbarians is useless in the open field. However, he has damage taken increase, and of course some more damage over here. And the Ethelflaed, she's amazing. I mean, deals direct damage by 800, but the damage factor is not reduced, and reduces attack, defense, and health by 30% for 2 seconds. The debuff is amazing. The debuff is just amazing, and it's really, really hard to actually outcome this. There you have some March speed reduction, other unit March speed reduction, and counterattack damage reduction, which is really good. So those two skills are very, very good. Here you have some damage against barbarians higher, and rally unit capacity bonus. However, her expertise. This commander troop deals 20% more damage to enemy troops that have been slowed, which basically means if she uses this skill, so whenever their troop launches a basic attack, it has a 10% chance to reduce the march speed or the march speed, calf march speed. She'll deal more damage. And this also applies to Minamoto. So Minamoto will do more damage, which is very, very good. And you have a 5 target AoE with the Ethelflaed, which is also very, very beautiful. So Ethelflaed has a beautiful debuff for herself and a very, very strong march speed reduction, which also is a debuff. So she's a very strong debuffing commander. And what's good with the Mehmet? Well, first things first, 5 target AoE damage factor, always beautiful. And of course, attack bonus and skill damage bonus by 20, which will make your Minamoto hit much harder than it already does. You can also pair YSG with Minamoto, YSG with Mehmet, and YSG with Ethelflaed. However, I wouldn't recommend this because they are too squishy. You don't have the march speed on them, and they are very, very squishy. The reason why I didn't want to actually include these are because of the march speed mainly, and of course because they don't have any stats. Obviously you have some unit capacity here, but that's like no, it's not something you want to use Mehmet for YSG. Some people will be like, but it works for me, it works for me. Beautiful for you, but overall I don't think it is the best to actually use. So it's good, don't get it twisted, but I don't think it's the best commander pairing that you should use in KVK 1. So I'm not mentioning it, however it is really amazing. And the last KVK 1 commander pairing for Minamoto that I wanted to actually include is Cao Cao. Now I would always play Minamoto primary, Cao Cao secondary, because the mobility tree, Cao Cao should be known or is known for his speed. So mobility tree is probably the fastest tree on the field. So you can make an argument that you want that, but skill damage tree is probably the best tree in the game, talent tree in the game, and I'm gonna talk about it in a future video. So you can make an argument for this, however, I'm not quite thrilled with this. And the last commander pairing that I wanted to actually talk about is going to be Richard I paired with Charles Martel. Now, some of you are going to talk, why don't you use Pyrrhus? And you can make an argument, Charles Martel paired with Pyrrhus is amazing. However, in order for this to work, you have to be lucky with the gold heads, for Pyrrhus and Charles Martel, obviously, or the gold keys, I'm sorry. And of course, you have to have around 1,000 gold heads till KVK 1 to actually be capable of using this commander pairing. And that's not easy task for free-to-play players. Maybe for mid spenders and high spenders, you can actually make an argument that you can actually get there. However, it's not easy. It's really not easy. So I just wanted to mention it. If I was you, I would always try to run Charles Martel paired with YSG. It's the strongest commander pairing in KVK 1. YSG is the strongest commander in KVK 1. Charles Martel is arguably in the top 3, maybe, but for sure in the top 5. Never play Hannibal Barca, he's garbage. Never play Julius Caesar, he's garbage. Never play Ragnar, he's garbage. Never play Freddy, he's garbage. El Cid is not garbage, but there are just much better, stronger commanders than him. Never play Mulan, she's only good for the canyon, of course. Richard I is in the open field very usable, and of course for chaining barbs he's amazing. Uh, yeah, and that's about it. So the strongest commander in KVK1 is actually YSG, and you can make an argument for Minamoto to be used with YSG, and you will have a good commander pairing. However, I would rank Charles Martel for the overall a little bit higher. So yeah, KVK1, YSG wins. However, that's just and only my opinion. What do you think about it? Do you think YSG is the strongest commander in KVK1? If so, feel free to actually write it down in the comments. I will see you in the next time. And yeah, goodbye.